Sir Charles Edward Kingsford Smith, often called by his nickname Smithy, is known as an Australian historic icon working as an aircraft pilot, Air Force officer, aviator and soldier. Charles was knighted in the 1932 King's Birthday Honours List as a Knight Bachelor. The Australian Governor-General, Sir Isaac Isaacs, also knighted Sir in 1932. A highlighting point in his career was definitely when he was appointed Honorary Air Commodore of the Australian Air Force. Charles once said, "The only time an aircraft has too much fuel on board is when it's on fire." Charles Edward Kingsford Smith was born in Brisbane, Australia on the 9th of February 1897. From 1903 to 1907, he and his family moved into the larger city of Vancouver, Canada. On his return to Australia, he moved to Sydney and attended the St Andrew's Cathedral School. In 1915, he enlisted in the 1st AIF and fought in Gallipoli. In the beginning of his serve on the home front, he was a simple motorbike dispatch rider, beginning at 16 years of age, until the Royal Flying Corps discovered his talent, earning his pilot's wings in 1917.
By Sir Charles Kingsford Smith before his retirement. Perhaps he'll break the record.
On the eve of my 8th trip between England and Australia, I'm awfully glad indeed to have the opportunity of being able to say cheerio and express my appreciation for the innumerable messages of goodwill that I have received from so many friends that I have on this side of the water. Naturally, I'm very anxious indeed to get home. I'm sorry in a way to leave these very hospitable shores, but as I have a wife and a very small but very important child waiting for me, I won't be sorry to be underway.
On the morning of the 31st of May 1928 at 8:54 a.m., Charles Kingsford Smith alongside his four-man crew left Oakland, California to attempt the first trans-Pacific flight to Australia. The trip consisted of 3 parts, first from Oakland to Wheeler Army Field, Hawaii, then they took the flight off Barking Sands, Manara, Kauai. Since the runway at Wheeler was not long enough, they had to cross island for the second charter of the trip. This was the most demanding part of the journey because the flu took a massive lightning storm near the equator. The third leg was the shortest and crossed the Australian coastline near Ballina. After a treacherous and long journey, they landed at 10:50 a.m. on the 9th of June. The total flight distance was approximately 11,566 kilometres. Kingsford Smith was welcomed by a huge crowd of 26,000 at Eagle Farm Airport, where the public labelled him as a hero. In 1928, Charles and his business partner made the first ever domestic trip across Australia. They then registered themselves as the Australian National Airways. Charles had then planned to start a charter service for the Australian government carrying mail across the Tasman Sea in 1928, and of course being the first ever to do so. On the 11th of September 1928, Charles landed the jet in front of 30,000 people. The event was also broadcast on live radio. After all these amazing achievements, he did not stop and went on to a flight from Australia to London, setting a new record of 10.5 days. Charles has left behind a legacy including the Sydney Airport, located in Mascot, was named after Kingsford Smith International Airport in his honour. Kingsford Smith School in Canberra was named after the world-famous aviator, opened in 2009. Qantas names its 6th Airbus A380 after Kingsford Smith. A satellite station, Kingsford Smith, is also named after him. These are just some of the many honours Kingsford has been commemorated for. Sir Charles and co-pilot John Thompson were flying the Lady Southern Cross overnight from Ahwaland, India, to Singapore as part of their attempt to break the England-Australia speed, when they disappeared off the Andaman Sea in the early hours of the 8th of November 1935. Their bodies were never recovered. Between the day he signed himself up for the army and his tragic death whilst doing what he loved, Charles devoted his life to becoming arguably the best aviator in the world.